Hercules and his gifts, Spider-Man's control, and Batman with his fists. Oh, I want something just like this.
G'day guys, my name's Dave Tran and welcome to another GuitarZero2Hero song tutorial. And in this lesson, I'll be teaching you how to play Something Like This by the Chainsmokers and Coldplay. So for the basics of this song, you'll need your guitar in standard tuning and you won't need a capo. Now in this lesson, I'm going to teach you all the rhythm and I'm also going to teach you the lead guitar. Now if you want to master your chords back to front, then be sure to head over to GuitarZero2Hero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. Now at its core, this song is actually really easy. The most difficult thing will just be the timing of the chord changes. So let's start with the intro / the first verse, and we just have a really nice and easy 4-chord chord progression. We start with a G chord, and then we go to an A chord, and then we go to a B minor 7 chord. Now to play this particular B minor 7 chord, we're not going to use the bar chord version. To play this one, your ring finger will go on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, your middle finger will go on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and your index finger will go on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. And you're only going to be playing these 4 strings in the middle, so from 5th string down to 2nd string. So you can mute the 1st string and you don't want to be hitting the top 6th string either. The best way to mute this top 6th string is just to have your thumb reaching just over the top so it lightly touches that 6th string and then it won't ring out. And then we go back to the A chord. So that's our 4-chord chord progression. And now for the intro and the verse, it is quite stripped back. So we're just going to be strumming each chord once. There's no strumming pattern here yet. So up in here in the annotations, you'll actually see the timing for the chord changes. The G and the B minor 7 are all on the 1 beat, and the A's are always going to be on the end beat after the 3. So if I'm counting, it will sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So notice that those A chords are always on the end beat after the 3. Now we get to the pre-chorus and we're going to use the exact same chord progression. We're just going to start implementing a strumming pattern here. Now the strumming pattern is just going to be all down strums played at 8th notes. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And the timing of the chord changes is going to remain exactly as is. So those A's are always going to be on the end beat after the 3. So for the pre-chorus, where we start building it up a bit more, will sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So now we get to the chorus / dance breakdown, and the chord progression is going to be exactly the same. The only thing that's going to differ here is the strumming pattern and the timing of the chord changes. So now our strumming pattern is going to go something like this. Down, 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 down. There's 1 strum by itself, then 2 sets of 3 strums, and then a set of 6 strums. Now up here in the annotations, you'll see exactly where the chord changes need to be, and they differ slightly from the verse and the pre-chorus. Going from our G to our A chord, that A chord will be played on the 3 beat, or the last strum of that first set of 3 strums. So it'll sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3. And then going from the A to the B minor 7 chord, we're going to be playing that B minor 7 chord on the 1 beat. And again, it's that last strum on the next set of 3 strums. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And then we go back to the A chord on the end beat after the 3. So altogether, the strumming pattern will sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now in between those strum sections, you just want to mute the strings to give it that more rhythmic feel. To do that, you'll just take the fleshy bit of your palm and after you're strummed, just rest it down on the string so that nothing rings out, like that. So this is what it would sound like without the mutes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and this is what it sounds like with the mutes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and notice how that's a lot more rhythmic. And all you're doing is placing down your palm so that the strings don't ring out and you get that pause in between those breaks. Of course, if you're a beginner and that seems too difficult, then just focus on getting that strumming pattern right, and then you can add in the mutes later. Now I'll give you one little tip for playing these chord shapes and having them sound nice. And this applies to all chords in general actually. So when you're playing these chord shapes, if you have your first knuckle here collapsed inwards like that, that chord is not going to sound very good. You should always have that first knuckle bent or curled in. So if you're playing an A chord like that, and you have your first knuckles curled, it's going to sound much nicer than if you collapse them like that. You're going to lose all the strength in your fingers and they won't ring out very nicely. So there's a little tip for you, always have that first knuckle curled whenever you're playing chord shapes. When we get back to our second verse, we're just going to play our really easy all down strumming pattern with the same chord progression. And we also go back to the normal chord changes where the A's change on the end beat after the 3. Then there's another pre-chorus, there's another chorus, and then there's a soft post-chorus. And our chord progression is going to change a tiny bit here. Our 4-chord chord progression will now be G, A, a B minor 7, and then we have a new chord here, which is a D major 7 / F sharp. Now to play this, from your B minor 7 position, you'll just slide your ring finger back to the 2nd fret. So you have the 2nd fret of the 2nd and 3rd strings held down, and your index finger will go onto the 2nd fret of the 6th string. And you'll strum from the 6th string down to the 2nd string. You can leave that 1st string muted if you want. So it's D major 7 / F sharp. And that is our new 4th chord for the rest of the song actually. So from here on out, with the exclusion of the interlude, the 4-chord chord progression is now G, A, B minor 7, and then D major 7 / F sharp. For this post-chorus, we're going to play this nice picking melody. So for the G, you'll pluck your 6th string, 4th string, 3rd string, and then 2nd string, all in a row, like that. 1 and 2 and on the end beat after the 3, we'll strum our A chord like that. So it'll sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then when we go to our B minor 7, we're going to do the exact same thing. So we're going to strum down from the 5th string, 4th string, 3rd, and then 2nd. So 1 and 2 and 3. And again, on the end beat after the 3, we'll play our next chord, which is our D major 7 / F sharp. So all together, this post-chorus will sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Then we have our third pre-chorus. Now the 4-chord chord progression is G, A, B minor 7 and D major 7 / F sharp. And we're going to play the really simple all down strumming pattern. So the third pre-chorus will sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now we get to the instrumental interlude, and this has 4 different lines of chords, which you'll see here up in the annotations. So for the first line we have G, then our A, and then our B minor 7. The A is going to be played on the end beat after the 3, and that B minor 7 will be played for a whole bar. So the first line just sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Then for our next line we have G, then we have D / F sharp, and then we have A. The timing of the chord changes will remain exactly the same as well. So the second line, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Then we get to the third line, and it's exactly the same as the first line, except our G chord is now a D/F sharp chord. Then the fourth line will be exactly the same as the second line. Altogether, the instrumental interlude will sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... After the interlude, we get to our outro / our final chorus. In terms of strumming pattern and chord change timing, it's going to be exactly the same as all the other choruses. The only thing that will differ though is that last chord. For all the other choruses, it was an A, but now for this last chorus, it's going to be our D major 7/F sharp. So the final chorus / outro will sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Alright, so now we get to the lead guitar in this song. We'll start off by learning the intro, and this is a really nice and easy lick to play. So to play this, you'll need your index finger on the 7th fret of the 3rd string, and your pinky finger will go on the 10th fret of the 2nd string. Before we get into this riff, anytime that you're going to be plucking the 3rd string, you're going to be plucking with a down pick. Anytime you pluck the 2nd string, you'll be plucking with an up pick. So we start off by hitting the 3rd string, and then we're going to do a 3-note run, which will be 3rd string, 2nd string, and then back to 3rd string. After that, we'll do another 3-note run, and then we'll hit the 3rd string by itself again. And then the last little chunk is just the 3rd string and then the 2nd string. And it'll sound like this all together. And with the timing count, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you just repeat that. So that's really nice and easy. You can put that in the choruses as well if you want to. Now I'm going to teach you the lead guitar that's in the outro of the song. We're going to start at the 12th fret of the 2nd string with our index finger. We're going to pluck that once. And then we have a group of 3 notes coming up. To start that off, we'll need to pluck the 12th fret again. And then the next 2 notes will be the 14th fret with your middle finger. Then we have another set of 3 notes. We're going to start on this 14th fret, and then we're going to go to the 15th fret with our ring finger. And so far we have. And then we have a run of 6 notes here. And it starts at the 14th fret, then we go to the 15th fret, then we're going to take our middle finger and go up to the 14th fret of the 1st string. And then we go back to the 15th fret of the 2nd string, down to the 14th fret, and back up to the 15th fret. And the 6-note run. And then all together. And you play that first line 4 times. For this next riff, we'll start on the 12th fret of the 2nd string, but you'll play this with your ring finger. And then you'll hit this 3 times. And then we're going to hit it again and pull off to the 10th fret of the 2nd string. And then with your middle finger, you'll go to the 11th fret of the 3rd string. And you'll do that pull off and then 3rd string note another time. So that whole section sounds like this. For our next chunk, again, we're going to hit this 12th fret 3 times. And then we're going to do another pull off and then 11th fret of the 3rd string. This next little part will differ. We'll go up to the 14th fret of the 2nd string with our ring finger, and then we'll bend this up to the pitch of the 15th fret. So it'll just be a really light bend. and then we'll release it back down. So bend up and release down. So that whole line will sound like this. And you play that second line 3 times. After that, you're going to basically play the first lead riff through once, and that's it. So now I'm going to be playing through the whole song in its entirety. I'm going to have a vocal track on top for some context. So feel free to play this back as many times as you'd like to practice, play along to, and see how you go.
Achilles and his gold, Hercules and his gifts, Spider-Man's control, and Batman with his fists. And clearly I don't see myself upon that list. But she said, where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhuman gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss, just something I can turn to, somebody I can kiss. I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like this. I want something just like this. I've been reading books of old, the legends and the myths, the testaments they told, the moon and its eclipse, and Superman unrolls a suit before he lives. But I'm not the kind of person that it fits. She said, where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhuman gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss, just something I can turn to, somebody I can miss. I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like this. Where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhuman gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss, just something I can turn to, somebody I can kiss. I want something just like this. Oh, 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 I want something just like this.
Be sure to head over to GuitarZero2Hero, guys, to pick up my free guitar ebook. Hope you've enjoyed this lesson. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and click that little notification bell so that you don't miss out on any updates. It'd mean the world if you hit that like button, leave your thoughts, comments, questions, and requests below, and I'll see you guys next time on GuitarZero2Hero. Cheers.
And white, one's just barely getting by, but these people still remember these old country lanes.